Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to more Fortnite news. This morning's a great morning because we finally had a patch notes that we can all say was actually pretty decent. Now, this morning a patch notes was supposed to be released. Actually, part of it was delayed. Many of you guys already know what's going to be happening. It's pretty much been guaranteed, even by Epic themselves. We will be seeing a snowboard, or of course their little spin-off of that's going to be called the Driftboard, which I love. You know, any form of mobility around there is going to be a great addition, hopefully, as long as it will be bug fixed. And that's why I do appreciate, of the many things they've done so far that have been decently good, this is definitely one of them. Slowing down the big updates. We've seen many times in the past, we've already talked about this, the past couple of episodes have been all of me whining and complaining, so I don't want to bring it back up. We've seen a lot of big updates though, come with a lot of bug fixes, a lot of glitches out there. This is a great idea. Slow down the big stuff, bring out the weapon balances, and slow down, of course, the bigger updates, which will be the Driftboard, hopefully coming sometime soon though. I don't doubt it's going to be sometime either Thursday or probably next Tuesday as well. A small patch update will bring the Driftboard, guys. Alongside that, we can still rejoice because the sword is still gone. Of course, we've seen rumors out there the mythic items will continue, and we can all expect the sword to return, unfortunately enough, with some tweaks out there, which I still think is a bad idea, but that's my personal opinion. Of course, many of you guys probably love getting kills with the sword. I hated getting killed by it every time I stepped in. But apparently mythic items will continue to reign into the game, which I am super curious what could be besides a sword. You know, will the next thing be a bow? Will it be a staff where you can just all of a sudden just do Avada Kedavras across the map? I really do think it's probably going towards that direction of the bows probably next, then probably some sort of, you know, some sort of mage item. It's going to be crazy to see what they come up with because we know they are creative. Are they always smart though is the real question. At least though, I'm not one of those players who've been using the zip lines, and if you guys have been using the zip lines over the past 2 weeks or so, it does seem you have a 50-50 chance of living or dying when using those things. I thought when they first came into the game they were a decent addition, especially when trying to escape the storm, although when you are on them you're a direct line of sight, so if someone is right in front of you or right behind you, you're pretty much dead. But they have been very glitched lately, especially when you play in squads. There seems to be a pretty good chance if all 4 of you use the zip line, one of you is going to be eliminated or knocked down after using the zip line. So it does kind of suck as of right now. There's many glitches still in the game that has not yet been fixed to my knowledge, but for the time being I would just have all of you guys avoid the zip lines altogether. They are still very much broken. But enough complaining, because this is actually one of the best updates we've seen so far. The next part of the patch, guys, was another plane nerf, which I am excited to say because we all have that friend who you drop down with and they always go right for the planes, they never leave the planes. Well, this might tempt at least a few more people to actually not be in them the entire game long. Increased player damage to players exploded inside planes, now from 25 to 50, all going directly to health, and we all know how easy it is to actually shoot a pilot no matter how far away they are, especially if you're just spamming the entire plane. So with it going directly to health, you are likely to die in a plane if you stay in it way too long. Alongside that, damage is now increased by 50% when boosting or impacting any builds or structures, which is absolutely huge. So no more planes just swooping down, breaking builds, breaking your buildings. You can actually run away from a plane, and hopefully they're not going to try and break down every single structure you actually walk into. So a huge update, guys, another plane nerf, and definitely a huge impact for competitive play. We've seen time and time again, and especially with Winter Royale, not only in pop-up cups but also Winter Royale official tournaments where people just stay in planes way too long. This should hopefully put a stop to that, and I want to applaud Epic. This is actually a huge update and definitely a long time coming. And then very lastly, for some weapons balances out there, the targeted weapon this week will be the AK, or the heavy assault rifle. Has not seen too many changes yet. I think a lot of people out there thought it needed to be a bit of a nerf, but of course always going to be mixed opinions in this community out there. For all of you guys who hip fire the weapon, unfortunately enough been a nerf, but everyone who aims down sight with it, not a big change out there. Actually though, a pretty big nerf in my opinion when it comes to hip firing, reduced accuracy when jumping or falling, and overall, guys, increased inaccuracy, or of course reduced accuracy of 30% while hip firing the weapon, which it seems to be pretty extreme, right? 30% while hip firing the thing, which already has a slow enough fire rate, so that's going to be a big impact in my opinion. But also a bit of a bonus when aiming down sights, guys. 10% bonus that is when you actually aim down the sights, and a bit of an increased accuracy as well when standing still, which many people in this game probably don't stand still. But again, not a huge update, not a huge change. We'll have to see how it actually plays out. For anyone to know who hip fires weapons like myself, definitely going to be a huge impact with a 30% increase in inaccuracy, which again seems a bit of a huge nerf there, but they seem to think it's going to be a necessary change. On top of that though, some other big things out there. If you knock or eliminate an opponent with a no scope, it now shows up in the kill feed as a no scope. That's pretty dang cool. And on top of that, very last, seeing some huge updates, guys. If you land a vehicle on all 4 wheels, no one will take any damage. Thank Thank the Lord. We all have a friend named Josh who takes a vehicle with you and you're like, hey, he comes by and he says hop on. You're like, okay, dude, let's escape the storm. He bursts up and then lands on one wheel if at best, and you take 17 13 fall damage. This should be done away with if he can actually land on 4 wheels. So that's a great thing, great update. We've all had those friends who still land on 4 wheels. We somehow still take damage because we fall way too far. A great update. So if you can actually manage to land on all 4 wheels, whatever vehicle you're inside of, no one should be taking damage. And also very lastly, you can now dab in the lobby for 10 hours. And also very lastly in Fortnite news for the Korean tournament, the $1 million tournament this past weekend. Not too much information out there because, well, it's really hard to read Korean for a lot of us who don't even speak it. I'll link the YouTube Korean page or the Fortnite Korean page down below if you guys want to watch the reruns. Although again, it's all in Korean, so you might not want to. Although Tournament Breakdown does show a lot of great things for this side of the world, at least in North American Fortnite, guys. The power of North American players, because there was a long list of players there at the entire event. A short list were actually American players, and a very long list, well, were all Korean players. So it was very fun to see the duos of the American matchups face off against all the Korean talent. Some of the best well-known players there, Captain Jack from Korea. We also have Jae Dong from Korea. It was Captain Jack placing 40th, Jae Dong placing 23rd, but the American duos that actually could make it, because if you guys weren't aware, I don't believe Cloaksy was there. I'm not sure if Nicky Merckx can make it, but it was actually Cloaksy who had passport issues, so he cannot attend the event, but it was actually, spoiler alert, Tfue and KittyPlays taking the entire event. Alongside that, though, some other great appearances from some duos you guys might know about. It was Myth and Morgas. They actually placed 17th with 33 eliminations. One of the top teams at the entire event with eliminations. Unfortunately enough for them, though, this format was not friendly for eliminations. Placement scores and strategic scores in terms of late game placements were so much more important, and actually what proves that, the next one, Yo-Yo Keep It Up alongside Nick A, they actually placed 14th with just 12 eliminations. Their placement scores, they really played the late game very well, very strategical, and of course, 2 very solid players. But again, 33 eliminations, 17th place, Morgas and Myth, 12 eliminations, 14th place for Nick A and Yo-Yo. So it's super cool to see as well, those 2 teams also placing top 20. And of course, very lastly, guys, Tfue and KittyPlays alongside Sanu and O-King. I have never seen a more energetic duo in Fortnite history. It lasted, the clip I'm showing you guys lasted at least 60 seconds the entire time, and it actually got to the point where Tfue and Kitty, they were seeing the replay or the live feed, and it was so delayed, they finally saw it. And so eventually Tfue joined in, and he started doing whatever it was that Sanu and O-King were. Either way, they placed second. Tfue and KittyPlays first, guys, and they take home your grand final, your grand title of the Korean Open 2018. Overall, a great event, especially for, well, not having too many broadcasts out there besides the Fortnite Korea, as well as Africa TV also showing this broadcast. It's also on top of that, FaZe Cloaksy revealing Tfue's dedication, guys, apparently flying out the day of the day 1 matches and flying back just a day and a half later. It's a 12-hour flight all the way across the world and back. So dedication, and certainly he keeps his reign as one of the most successful Fortnite players in the history of the sport. As always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy, and hopefully by Thursday or next Tuesday, we will see some other great updates. Epic is going in the right direction, and leave a comment down below what you guys think about this. There weren't too many complaints today, but I'll be back next week to do that. As always, my name is Jake. I'll see you guys all then. Okay, bye.